It's amazing how history keeps repeating itself. We'll talk about it right after this. Well, there's my John Deere. I've got it covered up and we're gonna take it to the shop tomorrow. It needs some TLC, won't start. Needs an oil change, needs the whole shebang. And I broke the key in the starter. But you're not probably watching me because we're gonna talk about John Deere. Although DIY might like that, hold on. Thought I'd get a little bit different look behind me. Something dawned on me yesterday. So there's a couple of books that I've read, a couple of things that I've seen, a couple articles about how, you know, they're blaming cows and their gas for adding to the bad stuff going on with our atmosphere, right? The reality is that it's only a little itty bitty percentage. In fact, there are many things, it's in that metabolical book that I told you about, many things that go far beyond, but yet they're going to convince you that it's the cattle that's the problem. And it makes me think of something in history that we've done before. Sorry, the bugs are eating me up. I guess they're carnivores too. Native Americans, they lived off the buffalo. They traveled to follow the buffalo. When they hunted the buffalo, they used every single piece of that animal. They used it for food, they used it for warmth, they used it for fuel, they used it for medicine. They used it for everything. So when another population comes in and says, this is, you know, these people have got to go, what happened? We exterminate the bison. We take them out. We took away their number one source of food, their number one source of fuel, their number one source of medicine. And then we replaced it with, hey, here's our medicine, which was actually, you know, plague blankets and alcohol. And not being exposed to this stuff before, whoever didn't get wiped out got controlled. And it's been repeated through history. You know, there was Polish cities during World War II that in order to exterminate a certain, you know, people, that had to be done by the local citizens. And what did they do? They gave them drugs, they gave them alcohol, and they made it like, okay, if you can do it in 2 shots, you're being merciful. So don't worry about your conscience, right? But going back to the bison, when you look at what seems to be a war against beef, you know, and you guys watched Sterling's video yesterday, what seems to be a war on beef, and you have all these new doctors telling you that beef is sort of a health food, and I've felt the effects myself, it makes you wonder. Now well, I won't get into that. I was going to bring up something, but no, I'm going to wait on that. But they talk about these bugs. They talk about, I mean, you might be able to hear them. I'm using the microphone today. You talk about bugs. You're talking about these agricultural farms for a predominantly vegetable diet. The soy, the corn, the grain. And no one gets into how many animals that kills. No one gets into how many environments are destroyed by that. No one gets into the environmental damage that commercial farming has done. Go across Kansas, go across Nebraska. What do you see? In Illinois and Iowa, you see fields and fields and fields of corn. Well, what if that was like truly good fresh vegetables? What if that was grazing land for animals where you can treat them humanely, right? No, we want to control our population by taking out their best food sources and replacing them with crap and getting them hooked on to things. Sound familiar? That's what we're getting into. You see, this way of eating is a form of rebellion. And they're so vehemently against it, it kind of makes you wonder why. You know, the Arizona Cardinals came out, the stadium has come out with this new superfood they're going to reveal in the stadium this year. And it's literally a cotton candy burrito. It's got 150 grams of carbs. It's got cotton candy, ice cream, Skittles, M&Ms, gummy crap, gummy worms, stuff like that. And it's $26. $26 to put yourself into a diabetic shock. $26. I mean, to give to your kids, and then they're going to wonder why the kids can't sit still, during the game. $26 to destroy your pancreas and to make your insulin through the roof, right? But you won't care because you'll be out there paying $1,000 for your seat in the game, and you're going to be in there eating high on the hog, and you're going to be bred in circuses, except now it's candy and I don't know. I can't even describe it, right? Meanwhile, the best food that we can eat is being systematically taken away from us, the choices. So when you go back to Sterling's video he did for me yesterday, that glued meat, that came from one branch of a store. And the comments were interesting. There were some comments that were denying this is real. There are other comments that, totally believed it. And there were other comments that said this is the stupidest thing ever. But what Sterling had in his hand was mush. Of course, they're talking about 3D printed meat now, and GMO meat now, and it's just like, but man, if you've never had a truly grass-fed, grass-finished cow from a local farmer, man, you are missing out. I got lucky. I grew up on right next to a dairy farm, so we had access to the freshest food that you can possibly have when I lived in New York. And that farm is still to this day. I was able to visit it a couple years ago when I went up there from my mom. And the food was amazing. Even the bread that I had was good. It was wholesome. It was no additives, no preservatives. You remember when you were a kid, if you're my age, and bread used to mold? Bread doesn't mold anymore, hardly. In order to control a population, you take away their best food sources, you replace it with other things that make them sick, and it inebriates so they don't know that they're sick. And if you look at the Native American communities, they all struggle. Indian Nation. I've delivered to Indian reservations, and you can definitely tell they're not happy places. Eating clean is a form of rebellion. It's a form of going against a system that's designed to make as much money off you as much as possible, which is why your insurance has skyrocketed, which is why pharmaceuticals have skyrocketed, which is why they literally rule this world. How many people lost their jobs because they didn't take the thingamabob, right? We're on day 33, and I feel great. I think at the end of the 40 days, I'm going to do a pro and con of what this way of eating has done. I'm not calling it a dining where it was like carnivore diet. No, you know what? It's a way of eating. The only thing I've eaten today was I finished off the lamb. Finally, it took 3 days, which that was $15, so $5 a day. And then I had 4 hamburgers for dinner about a couple hours ago. It's Thursday to Friday, so I'm doing my fasting Friday, so that means I probably won't eat until this time tomorrow. The only thing I've been doing, or that I haven't been doing, is eating eggs. I bought 2 dozen really good eggs, and I have not been eating them. Mainly because work has been crazy, and I just haven't had time to cook them. So, you know, planning ahead is important. Tomorrow I'm cooking pork steaks for the family off the grill. And they're going to have some green beans. I'm just going to have the pork steaks. I'll probably throw a couple of burgers with it. And then, man, if only I could grill some eggs, you know. But they'd fall right through. That'd be dumb, right? I feel great. I feel amazing. Is this way of eating for you? I can't tell you that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I know it's weird to people. I know it's odd, but the evidence is out there. The evidence is overwhelming. Don't take the YouTube influencers' words for it. Look at the comments of these videos. And you'll see that there's something to it. There's at least something to investigate. So we're on day 33, still hovering around 280. And today we dealt with this. This trailer was full of brush, you know, and now it's got my John Deere on it. And I'm gonna take that probably about 30 miles that way to the dealership so they can get it cleaned up. This thing hasn't been serviced in a long time since my mom gave it to me, and it's overdue for everything. Plus I got to get the key fixed. It broke inside there, but again, you don't want to hear that. But anyways, guys, thanks, guys and gals, for anybody who's doing this 40-day challenge or journey, however you want to call it. Thank you. I know that TJ is doing it. I know Shannon's doing it. I want to say Buck Brown might be doing it. Forgive me if I'm missing somebody who's doing that. I know Sterling's getting ready to start or is doing it. But here's the thing: it's progress, not perfection, right? And the whole process is you eat one thing for a while, and then you start reintroducing things, and you're going to feel sick. Now, I did promise the wife that sometime in the next few days that I'd take her to lunch, and so I got to have a plan for that, and that will be a good video in and of itself, because sometimes we can't cook at home, which, you know, if you're truck drivers, you know that. I did my first 40-day carnivore challenge in the truck, so I know what that's like. And so how can you minimize the amount of damage that might occur if you go out to eat? I want to help with that, because I have some ideas. And the first part is preparing ahead. You know, what am I going to do? What do I do if situation A arises? What do I do if situation B arises? Because how many times as you truck drivers, you shut down for the day? I was too tired to cook. I was too tired to do this. I was too tired to... So it was just easier to go to McDonald's and grab a hamburger. Well, the strategy is you buy just the burger patties. You know, little things like that. You know, Mexican restaurants, get the fajitas with all the meat, tell them to hold the vegetables. You go to a classic American diner type place, steak and eggs with cottage cheese. That's it. Asian, Chinese food. Well, that's a hibachi, you know, where they cook in front of you. You do that. You choose the meats, they're on the grill. Now they're going to use seed oils probably to cook it, and you'll feel that. You'll feel that. But at least you take your wife on a nice meal out, right? Progress, not perfection. So I just got a notification that Pale Rider TV is live. Let's go see what that's about. Meanwhile, thank you for watching. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.